Hey, it's Erin. I'm here at Tallgrass Film Festival in Wichita, Kansas, and I'm here talking to a very special person whose name is Kevin.
Hi, Aaron, and hi, everyone out there.
And I believe Kevin is associated with a very amazing film that everyone's really looking forward to seeing.
Yes, thank you. I hope you get to see it. It's called For Grace, and it's a documentary about a chef and myself and my co-director. We followed him for about 2 years, and as he opens up his dream restaurant, and we find out a lot of awful things in his past, and that sort of informs why he decided to not just be want to be a good chef, but to be the best chef in the world. And
Wow.
when you're have that sort of singular determination and focus, uh, a lot of things is sort of pushed aside in like family or personal life or any semblance of a normal life, like you and I probably can understand. And that's really what the story is about. It's about a guy who's driven to be number one and all the sacrifices required to get him to that place. Because I'm a food writer at the Chicago Tribune, I have the luxury of knowing all these chefs, and I have a lot of contacts in the restaurant industry. And so I knew about this guy who was leaving his restaurant. He was this chef, obviously, that I followed around named Curtis Duffy. And I knew he was opening up his own restaurant. And so I asked him, "Can I follow you?" And I'll just have a video camera tagging along. And I'm not sure what his motivation is. I suppose he wanted a documentation of what happens. I mean, if someone offers you to, take a camera and document your building of your restaurant, you probably say yes as well. What he didn't expect was him sort of telling the world about his really tragic backstory, and he never expected that. But I think when you hang out with a guy for 2 years and you get to know him as well as you do, I mean, besides my wife, I think I probably knew this chef better than any human over the last 4 years. When you have that sort of intimate relationship with your subject, it's almost like doctor, therapeutic patient relationship. I mean, he
That's
starts
a really good way of
revealing a
putting
lot of
it.
things. Yeah. Before this movie, I didn't know that he had all these sort of deep rooted uh, things that were sort of festering inside him for like the better part of 20 years. And there's one point in the movie which I'm not going to give it away, but this one point when he was 19, something awful, awful, awful happens in his family. And it's something that, you and I could, can't relate to, or hopefully, if we're lucky enough, never relate to. And when this happens to him, it really informs the person and the chef that he becomes. And so um, it's something that I think outside maybe four or five people in his life, he's never told. And so for him to tell us, the filmmakers, about this is really, I mean, it's really amazing. And I guess I'm honored that he would share the story with us. And so our obligation as filmmakers is we just have to tell the story and as in a compelling and in a truthful and in the most fair way that we can. So 4 years later, we have this movie. We've been traveling around the country. We've been at South by Southwest. We've been in Melbourne, Australia, Seattle, Nashville, and now we're here in Wichita. And so it's really an amazing thing. And we're just doing what we set out to do from the beginning, which is to tell this guy's story and share it with the rest of the world. When he divulges a secret like that, like I said, you don't want to be exploitative. You don't want to sensationalize it. You just want to be as truthful and fair and just let the camera let the camera roll.
Very
And
much
so
in your journalistic background,
right,
just an objective
exactly,
piece.
exactly. We're privileged to that he would share this thing that he hasn't told anyone in 18 years, and so we just want to do it fairly and do a good job with it. And I hope that we've done that.
One question that I was really anxious to ask you is how are audiences receiving this? It's already been shown several
Hmm.
places. Are you getting people coming up to you with like tears in their eyes?
Yeah.
So we should expect to be a little emotional, maybe.
Well, we don't like to manipulate other people's emotions for the sake of manipulating it. Although I've seen this movie 70 times maybe already, and we've been to, gosh, I don't know, more than a dozen festivals, if not almost 2 dozen festivals. And it's so fascinating to sit in the audience, watch people, and I know exactly when they're going to gasp, when they're going to laugh, when they're going to cry. Um, it's really, I mean, that's what a really fascinating thing to watch other people do that. But yeah, I think the most fulfilling thing is it's so rare that filmmakers get that immediate gratification. I'm sure people who are like theater in like in stage productions, that's something that they have the luxury of having because they get that immediate reaction from the crowd. With film, most people are watching it in theaters. The filmmakers aren't there, or they're watching it at home, and you don't get to experience that. So when we come to these festivals and the filmmakers are there, and you're able to see people react to it, and if they shake your hand afterward and maybe they applaud, that's incredibly gratifying. And so I know that this film festival run isn't going to last forever, so I'm just going to enjoy as much of it as I can because, otherwise, you'll find me probably in my living room just applauding at the end of my movie, and that's no fun.
So, are there any ways that people can follow your film on social media or you on social media?
Sure. We're on forgracefilm.com, which is the trailers all there, For Grace Film, all one word. And all our social, Twitter, all those contacts are all on there. And, hopefully, and I think what makes this especially meaningful for us is every film, every scene was shot, edited, and produced by two people, myself and my co-director, Mark Helenowski. So this wasn't done with a team of 20 people. This wasn't financed in any way. We just did it because we wanted to do this and we had a story to tell. And, any support is, I mean, everything's been DIY so far. So having other people support, having other people tell word of mouth, and having you guys hopefully see the movie and hopefully liking it and telling people about it, that's what makes it meaningful and gratifying, and that's what really drives the movie forward. So check the movie out, hopefully, forgracefilm.com, and if you like it, maybe tell a friend. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Tell your friends, guys. I'm excited about seeing it for the food element of it. I haven't seen a food documentary that I don't like. If it's about anything related to the food industry.
There's a lot of, the food is quite delicious there. So I would eat before I go to this movie.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks again so much, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of your festival, and the best of luck to you and your film, For Grace.
Thank you so much, Erin. I appreciate it.